Hi. I hope you can hear me. My voice is really going here. Today, what we're going to have you do after you read for your 10 minutes is to work in pairs or groups at your table. You can choose any partner that you like to work on annotating the three poems that I gave you regarding civic responsibility. I love this cartoon. It actually took me a while, maybe because I am not feeling well that I couldn't get it. And then when I did get it, I laughed out loud. So I'll give you a second just to read it. I think it's funny. Okay. Turn to your neighbors and ask what are the different types of figurative language. When you're looking at poetry or pieces of literature, what kinds of things should you look for when it comes to language that's beyond the normal? Well, if you said things like similes, using the word like or as, metaphors, comparing two things that without the word like or as, personification, giving human things, qualities to things that are not human, hyperbole, extreme exaggeration, alliteration, repetition of consonants at the beginning of sentences, like tongue twisters. Assonance is the repetition of a vowel sound. That's where you get your rhyme. And consonance is when you repeat an ending consonant. Well, we're going to look at those kinds of things as we annotate our poetry. And so that is our goal today, is to annotate the famous poems that we have. Okay? So if you will take out your Walt Whitman Old Democracy, we're going to kind of do this together, if I can, um, on this piece of poem. I think I'm going to try to pull up it in my smartboard here. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of follow the annotation of that worksheet that we have. So we've already read this a couple of times. And what we need to do first is to ask ourselves any kind of questions that we might have. Okay. For example, come, I will make you a continent indissoluble. Well, my question might be, who is I? Okay. Trying to ask myself, who is the speaker? And then I might actually put in a question because I might not know what indissoluble means. So I'm going to circle that. I will make the most splendid race the sun ever shone upon. I will divine magnetic lands with the love of comrades, with the lifelong love of comrades. I also might ask myself, why does he repeat this word here? Okay? And those are all questions that you ask yourself that help you kind of annotate. Sorry. Okay? I will plant companionship as thick as trees along all the rivers of America, and along the Great Lakes, and all over the prairies. I will make inseparable cities with their arms about each other's necks, by the love of comrades, by the manly love of comrades. And there is that repetition again. So he's not only repeated it twice, he's now gone to four times. For you, these from me, O democracy, to serve ma fame. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So, but I'm not quite sure what this means. For you, I am trilling these songs. Okay, so if we go to our worksheet of annotating, okay, we write the questions when we pop it up, and then we look the words up that we don't understand. So if I go back to the poem, the words that I don't understand, like indissoluble, I know is not to be able to be dissolved. It is something that's going to be there forever. Okay? I know the word comrades, even though I didn't circle it, means to be a friend. And ma femme, which again, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing right, is my wife. Okay? So we've answered 1 and 2. So let's look at the rhyme. Remember rhyme scheme. What can we do if we can look for end rhyme? Indissoluble upon lands, comrades, comrades. Um, if I look at each of those, I don't see any rhyme scheme because this is Walt Whitman. He used free verse. He didn't believe in rhyme scheme. He believed in just the natural order of speaking. Okay, let's go back to our annotated paper. Count the number of syllables in each line and mark the number at the end of the line. In a really long poem, you can just do this for a couple of verses. Pick a verse. So, come, I will make the continent indissoluble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 5 there. I had to count it out. I don't know if you heard me whisper, but there's 13 in that one. I will make the most splendid race the sun ever shone upon. I think I got to 15 on there. Hopefully I didn't lose track. Whoops. Okay. I will make divine magnetic lands. That one I got to 9. With the love of comrades, I got to 6. With the lifelong love of comrades, this one I got to 7. Okay. I'm going to go to the next verse just to see if he repeats this pattern. I will plant companionship thick as trees. That's 10. Along all the rivers of America. No, we're not. He doesn't repeat it there. I'm going to go to the next one. For you, these from me, O democracy, to serve you, muff up. No. So there's really no pattern. And so when we do these, you can do one syllable or a couple syllables. Just see if there is a pattern. Okay, so let's go back to our worksheet. Identify any figurative language used within the poem. Okay, so I know I saw some similes, and I'm going to just use my highlighter here. And thick as trees. And I know cities with their arms, that's personification. Let's see, looking down. He's comparing them to a wife. Okay, so a couple of similes, a couple of personifications, but not a whole lot. You know, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Identify any sound devices like alliteration, which is beginning in consonants, assonance, which is a vowel sound, or consonants. And I think if we go back to Walt Whitman, we're not going to see it a whole lot. Okay, I don't see a whole lot of alliteration. I do see the use of S's. There's a lot of splendid, race, even though it's a C. You got the S sound, sun, dissoluble. Okay, cities, no. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it because it's just free verse. Okay, back to where we go. All right, number 7, identify the text that is repeated. Is there any, can you think of any reasons that it would be? And we've already highlighted it. So something about friendship, okay? Something about the love that we have for each other. So I'm thinking that the reason that the author repeated it, I'm going to just extend my page here so that I can see. I'm just going to write like you guys can at the bottom of your page. He may have repeated comrades because he wants Americans to feel like each of us are friends with the other, or that democracy, the speaker, is our friend. Okay, so that's what I think. Okay, back to our thing. I'm going to look at number 8, looking at the punctuation. And while we're doing that, let's look at number 9. Is there any words that are impactful or interesting, like patterns or patterns of that? So first we're going to look at the punctuation. A lot of commas. I'm going to notice that the indents here That's kind of an unusual thing because the way he chose to indent. Lots of commas in order to try to make everything seem like one sentence. See, this is all one sentence. And then this is all one sentence. And then we got that funky indent again. Okay, authors choose to do that. An exclamation point here. He doesn't keep that going. And periods at the end. Words that I think are interesting are words like, I like the word trilling. I think that that's kind of a funky word. What a great word to talk about for sound. Okay. I like the idea that he refers to uh, it like a wife, um, the most splendid race. Because I love this country, I think that that's a wonderful way that the sun is going to shine down and look absolutely beautiful on us. Okay. So let's take the worksheet itself out, which you guys have in front of you, and let's look at um, the two questions that I have up in the corner. What attitude toward America do you find? Well, I think he has this attitude of where America is like a friend and he loves them like he would a wife. And he's often referred to as America's poet. Where do you see that here? Just the idea that it's going to make this continent indissoluble. If you remember in the Declaration of Independence, we have words that refer to us that nothing is going to ever break our country up, and that the sun is going to be the most uh, beautiful sun that's ever shined upon us. Magnetic is something that brings you here. We're going to have companionship. We're going to have cities that work together, and we're going to be like a wife to them, and that these are the songs that he has. And the speaker of this song is probably democracy or patriotism. Now, what I want you to do for today, excuse me, is I want you to go on and I want you to annotate at your table the last two the poems that are in this worksheet, the poems that are related to Robert Frost, okay, going through and doing exactly what we just did here. Whittier's poem about the election day, and Freedom is a Habit by Carl Sandburg. You go through and you can annotate, okay? And you can use your computers, you can use anything that you like to help you analyze and look at these poems, okay? And then when you come to class on Thursday, we're not going to go through them together, but we are going to just discuss very quietly, very quickly, sorry, not quietly, but very quickly how this relates to our sense of duty. All right? We'll talk to you later. Have a good day, and we'll see you on Thursday.